Hello, second grade. It's Miss Adair here. Today we're going to review place value. Okay, and for today we're going to use one number to do everything. That number is going to be 265. Now, when we're talking about place value, I always like to go ahead and do my lines and my columns so that I know what position each one is in. Now, I know that in my class, and I know I'm sure in everybody else's, we always go ahead and put our hundreds, tens, and ones chart up. Okay? Hundreds, tens, ones. I always like to use the anagram hot tomato omelets. Hot tomato omelets. Sounds crazy, but it will help you remember it. So HTO, that's our heading, hot tomato omelets. So, if I was going to ask you what position was the 2 in, your answer would be hundreds. Okay? Because I've put my HTO up here, my hundreds, tens, ones column, all I have to do is look up. It is in the hundreds position. All right, this is the tens. What number is in the tens position? That would be the 6. And then we have our ones, and that is our 5. So in the hundred spot, we have the 2. In the tens, we have the 6. In the ones, we have the 5. All right, now when it comes to this, when you hear the word standard form, give me a number in standard form. That means just a plain old number, which is 265. If I said, give me the standard form of 265, you would simply write 265. All right, now, what if I asked you to give me the value of each number? The value, not what place it's in, but the value. The value is how much that number is worth. All right, so let's look at the 2 first. What is the value of that 2? It is in the hundreds position. So I know that it's going to be something hundred, okay? It's going to have a 0, 0 behind it, no matter what. Put a little arrow here, 0, 0. There is a 2, so all I've got to do, it is hundreds. So the value of my 2 would be 200. If it was a 7 here, my value would have been 700. If it was a 3, my value would have been 300. Now let's look at our tens. All right, tens, the number 10 looks like this, right? 10. Every number is going to have a 0 behind it. So the value of this 10, I look, there's 6, 0. Every number can be counted by tens in the tens column. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. That is the numbers that are going to be on your tens column. 6 is there, so it's 60. If there was a 3 there, the value would have been 30. Okay, there's always a 0 after the number in the tens. Always 2 zeros in the hundreds. Now look at our ones, that is easy peasy. Ones is like counting about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We don't have any zeros behind it. It's just whatever number is there. So if it's 5 there, my value of the 5 in the 1 spot is 5. If it was a 2 there, it would have been a 2. If it was a 9, it would have been a 9. It's simply this number. That's all you have to do is just that number. All right, so that's the value. Now, if you think back, you remember that we talked about doing expanded form. Remember, we stretched it out. We took this number 265 and we stretched it out. If I'm going to do expanded form for 265, I'm going to take the value and put plus signs in between each of those values. That's what we just did, was the value. So, what was the value of the 2? It's in the hundred spot, so it is worth 200. All I have to do is write 200. Put my plus sign. What is the value of the 6? It is in the 10 spot, so its value is 60. I write its value. Put my plus sign. And what is the value of the 5? It is in the 1, so it's simply 5. 265. Now, if I gave you this number in expanded form and I said, second grade, this is the expanded form of a number, but I want the standard form. I want the standard form of that number. You could take it back to standard form. All you would have to do is take your number from each section. 200. We have 2 hundreds. We had 2 in the 100 columns. 2. The first number from your tens, 6. And then your 5. That's all you have to do. Is just scrunch it back together. Now, what if I asked you for the written form? Okay, that means that it's in words. We're using letters to write out the number. All you do is write it just like you say it. 265. So I would write 2. Listen to what I'm saying. 200. 260. 5. You just say it. You just write it just like you say it. 265. 265. All right, let's do one more, and we're going to practice doing each form of it, okay? So my number this time is going to be 436. The very first thing I want to do if I'm doing place value is I want to make my HTO chart, my hundreds, my tens, and my ones. Hot tomato omelets. Put my H, hot tomato omelets. Okay? Now, I want the standard form of that number. What are you going to write? The standard form of a number is just a plain old number. So all you would do is you would say, Ms. Deb, it is 436. And you would write it just like that. Now, if I said, but I want to know the value of each of those numbers, you have to look and see. The 4 is in the 100 spot, so the 4 is going to have the value of 4. Look right up at your chart. 400. What is the value of the 3? It's in the tens. So it's going to end in 10. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. It's a 3. So it's going to be, the value of that 3 is actually 30. And then you look at your ones. It is simply the digit that's in there. It was a 6. Then I say, well, I would like for you to stretch it out. I want to see the expanded form. Same thing as we just did before. You take the value, put a plus sign in between each of those values. So we said the value of this 4 was what? 400. 400 plus. The value of the 3 was 30. The value of the 6, put a plus sign, the value of the 6 was simply 6. 400 plus 30 plus 6. All we did was we stretched it out. Remember, expand means to stretch it out. We're making it really big. If I want to bring it back down to standard form, what do? I take the first digit from each of my values. 4, I had 4 hundreds, I had 3 tens, 6 ones, 436. And if I said, give it to me in written form, you're going to write it using words. Write it like you hear it. 436. 400. 430. 6. 436. 436. Okay, so guys, that was your review lesson on place value. Now, I want to give you a number. My number is going to be 547. 547. I want you to write that down on a piece of paper. You could go back and play this again and fast forward it to get to this part. Write it down on a piece of paper, 547. And then I want you to, with your parent, your friend, your sibling, whoever, I want you to give me the standard form. I want you to write the expanded form. Remember, expanded means to stretch it out, put those pluses in there. And then I want you to do it in written form. And if it's not spelled exactly right, you know that it's quite all right. You stand it out and do the best you can, okay? All right, so do that for practice at home with someone. And check back again soon, and we'll be reviewing another lesson. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.